A vacant home destroyed, rocking a neighborhood. It all started this morning in northwest Baltimore. An explosion so powerful it almost knocked people out of their beds. And when they looked outside to see what the cause and the noise, they saw an unimaginable thing, a house blown to smithereens. Roosevelt Lefwich now with the rest of the story. Rosie.
Well, Jamie, it happened in the 5800 block of Key Avenue, right near Sulgrave. Folks in the neighborhood thought it was thunder from a storm, but thunder doesn't knock a house off its foundation.
I was in the bed last night sleeping, and all of a sudden we just heard this loud boom.
Anthony James thought it was thunder. A violent storm would make that sort of sound, but the vibration almost knocked him out of his bed and shook everything in the house. And then he came outside.
Then my daughter said, oh, that's probably somebody had an accident, you know, because the boom was so loud. And then that's when we heard the fire trucks and stuff, and we came out to this. Yes, devastation.
The explosion was so powerful the house was knocked off its foundation and the roof and most of the walls caved in. Bricks were thrown out into the yard and bits of insulation covered the neighborhood. Natural gas is suspect, and as late as 6 hours after the explosion, fire was still shooting out of a ruptured gas main. Taylor Smith lives right next door and says it was her uncle who was burned in the blast.
It was just, they said that it was gas in the air. He lit a cigarette and it burnt them.
At this point, authorities are still trying to figure out exactly what caused the explosion at this house. BGE crews were checking gas lines in the neighborhood.
We preliminarily believe it to be a natural gas explosion. There was some fire to the rear of that building being emitted from the natural gas meter.
Now, the name of the victim has not been released. He suffered burns to his face and his arms and was taken to Hopkins Bayview. Roosevelt Lefwich, ABC 2 News.